For decades, the goal has been lose weight, lose weight. But what if losing that weight is costing you the one thing that keeps you metabolically alive? The fountain of eternal life isn't the number on the scale. It's your muscles. And we're going to talk more about that right after our opening. Welcome, everybody. This is a Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your co-host, Scott Paton, and joining us as usual, Martin Patella, health engineer. Well, Martin, what an exciting start it was to our adventures today. Hi, George. Glad to see that you're here with us as usual. Martin's sound was not working up until
I feel so technologically challenged. I don't know what's going on here.
And what I don't understand is how you and I can be talking on various devices like 5 times a day, and then the one time we're going to be live streaming, nothing works. So Anyway, welcome everybody. It's just in case you think everything runs smoothly, Zen-like, not the case. All right. No. So let's talk a little bit about the main problem. Okay. So someone is overweight. They say, okay, you got to eat less. You got to do this. You got to do that. They end up doing fasts, all sorts of things, and they drop 50 pounds.
Never mind, Scott. What they'll do is they'll go see their doctor. They'll get prescribed GLP-1, Ozempic or its cousins, and they will rapidly lose the fat because they'll stop having an appetite, right?
Yes.
Your desire to eat goes away and you stop eating. And then, of course, the body starts consuming itself. It's called autophagy. And it will get rid of everything, the fat. But if you don't exercise, all you're left with is just this stretched bag of skin that's going to hang loose on you like on an elephant.
So I think the words that you left out of your statement was you're going to lose your muscle as well as your fat.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Because if you are not feeding your body adequately, and because you're on a drug, you don't feel like eating, the body will actually consume itself in order to survive.
And it's not going to consume the bone. It's not really going to consume the skin. So you're left with your muscles and your fat.
That's correct. Right.
As George says, the most expensive metabolic tissue, muscle, gets jettisoned because it takes a lot of work. Jettisoned. Yes. Yeah. The Jetsons. I used to watch that when I was a kid. So
yeah. This verb, Scott, is related to the airmen dumping whatever cargo they have to create lift or to give themselves a chance of surviving in a craft that is no longer keeping up with the demands. I don't know how to best put it.
Okay, so what is sarcopenia?
Sarcopenia is it's a Greek word for muscle loss. Doctors like to speak in Greek. They make it sound so. You have blepharotomy. Well, somebody just cut off your eyelid. You have appendectomy. Somebody just cut out your appendix. It's like they just love to speak in Greek.
Right. So this is age-related muscle loss. So the myth, I'll put it that way, is the older you get, your muscles just get smaller and smaller until finally you're just skin and bones. Yep. And if you live the normal societal lifestyle, then that's the result, because that's what happens to people. However, if you exercise, if you eat properly, and let your body rest and repair, you're going to find that that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, let me give you the outline. The health of your bone is maintained by stressing the bone. Wherever the muscle attaches to the bone, that's where the mineralization happens. But it only happens if the muscle is stressing the bone. And the only time it's stressing is if it's being used. So, for example, the astronauts that come back from the space station after spending 3, 4, 5 months there, they are atrophied. They have lost bone mass, muscle mass, all kinds of stuff, because you don't need it. You jettison it. Yes.
Yeah, if you're sitting
You
in a
lose-
small place, then you're not getting any exercise, and that's what happens.
Right.
And you remind me of my
Yep.
grandpa. He sat in front of the TV, watched Pacific wrestling, Pacific Coast Wrestling, and did very little exercise when he was in his 80s and 90s, which, we expect them to not do very much exercise. I mean, and that's the problem, right? Is we have this expectation, oh, you're going to hit 80, you're going to hit 90, you'll hit 100. You're just going to like sit there and do nothing. Whereas when there was a reel I saw the other day, and this old guy gets on a neighborhood basketball court with a bunch of 20-year-old blacks, right? And they're all like, oh my God, just give me a chance, right? And he's like a total ringer. Like, he is really old, but he can shoot and dribble and and these kids were just like, wow, totally unexpected. And you could see that this man was very active. Like, he was obviously exercised a lot, and he took off his shirt and he was ripped. So it was,
yeah, you can be in awesome shape despite your age.
yeah. And the key, of course, is just getting that exercise, eating properly. What's happening now is people are thinking that they're getting this in their 30s. They're starting to see people in their 30s where they are getting age-related muscle loss. And that's just it's not right. And you hit on it. If you're crash dieting, you can get the rapid weight loss. If you're on the medications, you can get the rapid weight loss. But unfortunately, that includes your muscles. And your muscle is what really pushes your metabolic engine, right?
Yeah, here's another piece that we should say, which is the following. The energy stored in our body is stored in the form of glycogen. There's about 150 grams of it, or 150 calories worth of it, I should say, in your liver, and about 1,500 calories worth of it in your muscles. So you have about enough energy stored for one day. But if your muscle mass is diminished, there's nothing to put it in. There's storage is gone.
All right.
And so if you give yourself a meal that's kind of rich in carbohydrates, the glucose rises, and the normal place to consume it would be the muscle. But if you don't have a muscle to consume it, all you have is a spike in glucose, which is immediately followed by a rise in insulin, whose job it is to turn it into belly fat.
Right. Darn. I wish its job was to turn it into something else.
Nope. Storage, energy storage.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about slower metabolism. What can we do to speed that up? And I'm always concerned because people say, oh, you take this and it speeds up your metabolism. You look at it as caffeine. And for me, caffeine is like I'm just bouncing off the walls, right? And I don't like the feeling and I don't want to. And then I think, well, what other ways can I increase my metabolism?
Yeah. So we're talking mitochondria. Mitochondria is a tiny organelle inside of your cell. Your heart muscle cell may have 10,000 of these tiny organelles inside itself, each of which is sort of like a single combustion chamber in your V8. Well, so the heart cell would be a V10,000, right?
Okay.
But anyway, each one of those little things is going to burn a bit of glucose in presence of oxygen, and through a cascade, it's called electron chain, it will convert the food into energy. ATP is the result, ADP is the starting point, blah, 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 whatever. And so there are multiple in-between steps. And we have energy source and energy catalyst. And one really interesting thing is nicotine. Because nicotine is the turbo. It's like having a high pressure oxygen pushed at the burn site. So people who are needing to stimulate, they'll fire up using nicotine just fine. Now, the other thing is called nicotinic acid, which is also known as niacin, which we buy as either vitamin B3, niacin or niacinamide. The B3 naked is the one that gives you the itchiness and redness. The niacinamide is the slow glow without the redness. But anyway, the main point is this. Vitamin B3 is the input, and you can stimulate it with nicotine, and you give yourself a phenomenal energy boost. You mentioned caffeine. You mentioned caffeine. Caffeine is a different beast. Caffeine puts itself onto the receptor site for I think it's called adenosine. There's a particular hormone that keeps rising and creates sleep pressure. And when there's enough of it, you just go to sleep. And nicotine is blocking the receptor sites that will put you to sleep. Did I say nicotine? Caffeine. I meant caffeine.
Caffeine. Okay. So would you have problems sleeping if you got a little nicotine part of a nicotine patch and put it on your thigh?
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem sleeping while on nicotine.
Okay.
Caffeine will keep you awake. Nicotine will not.
Right. So if you want to increase your metabolism, nicotine is something that you should be looking into.
Yeah, and you see what happens with people who quit smoking?
Yeah, they get big.
Yeah, they put on weight because we know why.
Right.
They have been decreasing the number of mitochondria.
So George brings up, I like brewer's yeast,
heme, iron,
copper, alfalfa, spirulina, wheatgrass, barley grass, etc.
Well, that's a description of a typical Exula superfood. He just makes his own, right? Like he buys the raw ingredients and mixes his own. We do that commercially for people.
So what would be the benefit of brewer's yeast?
Oh, it's so rich in B vitamins. What else is it good for? Well, B vitamins especially. I think that's the most important thing. Yeast as such is a farmer type of a thing. Whatever you feed to the yeast, it will consume it and absorb it and deliver it. So I don't know. I think it's an awesome nutrient as far as that goes. We put a whole bunch. It's called something cerevisiae. What the heck?
You're speaking Greek again.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Well, okay. Anyway, brewer's yeast, we put it into the Exula superfoods, and it's great stuff. It keeps you fed and nourished all at the same time.
Okay, cool. So one benefit, too, of making sure you don't lose your muscle mass is
protein.
You don't increase your frailty. Like the other thing that happens is people get older, they get a little bit crunched, they shrink, and all of a sudden, they fall over and break stuff, as opposed to when they were in their 30s falling over and just getting a bruise.
Yeah, well, that's the bone density, right? So if you are not moving, you're reducing both your muscle mass and your bone density at the same time, right?
Right.
That's the frailty.
If you're working your muscles, then you're putting stress on the bone, which makes the bone stronger.
Yeah, nutritionally, I think the biggest help you can do for your bones is push omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Those are greatly underappreciated, but should be supplemented heavily. Vegetarians, flax oil or flax seed heavily, but especially fish oil in any form is just wonderful stuff. it will keep you stronger.
Great. Okay, so we're basically telling people you need to eat well and you need to move your body. A lot of times people talk about weight training. Do you want to cover that for the next couple of minutes?
Well, we just mentioned the stressing of the muscles to stress the bones, right? You need to actually load yourself with weight. And interval training is high intensity interval training, HIIT. You want to do about 10 reps, and the 11th should be impossible to do, meaning that you need to have so much weight on you that you cannot make the next rep. You want to essentially crash the muscle. That's high intensity interval training.
So do we need to join a gym or buy dumbbells, or can we use our own body mass?
Well, dumbbells are convenient, right? But you can certainly fill a suitcase with books and lift that. I mean, you want to stress your muscles. I don't know, lift your wife, lift your baby. I don't know. What do you want to do?
I was thinking of like squats or push-ups and pull-ups and that sort of
absolutely. You can use your own weight. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You don't need a whole lot of equipment to maintain.
And this is going to have an impact on mobility, right? Like what I've really noticed is getting down with my grandkids, getting up is really difficult. So I'm doing a lot of squats because I need to get off the floor. And I'm finding that the more squats I do and the better my muscle tone is in my thighs in particular, the easier it is to get up.
Yeah. In fact, one of the predictors for early demise or your physical health is if you're able to sit down and stand up without using your arms or touching your knees or whatever, like just simply sit down and then stand up, straight up.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Oh, George says sandbags work well. Thank you, George.
Yeah, let's go to some flood region and help people sandbagging. Yeah, but right you are. Sure. Sandbags.
And I have a quote now that I want to just share, and I don't know who said it. Sorry to the author. Strength builds the engine, mobility maintains it, and cardio fuels it.
Sounds really good. Nice and sophisticated.
Some people I know, actually a good friend of mine that's visiting me here in Cancun this week, are talking about creatine and using it. And it's not just for bodybuilders.
No. Anybody over 40 should be on creatine. About a teaspoon, 5 grams of creatine every day is an awesome thing for helping to maintain muscle mass.
So another benefit is for women's health. It helps with the bone density and hormonal support.
Yes, sir.
You can think better. Cognitive function is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that it was a source of energy.
Yeah. It's involved in the energy cycle.
Cool.
Yeah, so we make this product called Theraminos, which is made with free-form amino acids, but it also has a bunch of sulfur in it, and also a bunch of creatine. So that thing is designed specifically for people who want to exercise, build muscle mass, build energy, maintain energy, right? So it's...
Well, this is a good time to bring up two of the ones that we wanted to highlight today. And the first one is Orafit. So let's talk a little bit about it before we go.
Yeah, so this is more the structural than anything else, right? Like we have maybe, if you haven't pulled it up, pull up Lazarus. But I'll talk about Orafit now. Orafit is designed to support your structure. So that's the stuff of muscles and bones and all of the things that you need to put into it. And it's supported by some algae that helps with nitric oxide release, which is the controller or regulator of your flexibility of the arteries. Again, another important thing. There's just so many aspects to it.
Right.
When you want to have energy, you need to be able to deliver oxygen and nutrients, and for that you need the blood moving, and to get that you need to have flexible arteries, And the Aclonia, that's the culprit here, is the one that we add here to allow this flexibility.
Okay. You had mentioned Lazarus, so let's take a look at Lazarus here.
Yeah, Lazarus is designed specifically to help a person put muscles back on the body.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Lazarus in combination either with barley gold or nature's gold or maybe Powertine or something like that would phenomenally improve your general muscle mass.
Right. Yeah, because I've always taken it because I want to make sure I had healthy kidneys and liver.
Yeah.
Given
of course. Yeah, you do need that. Yeah.
And healthy circulation. Yeah, it's if your heart can't pump the blood, that's a big problem. And reduces signs of aging. Well, as you know, Martin, I have a bottle 2 or 3 times a year. It lasts me about a month to 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends came to visit me, and he was saying, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm going to be 70 in a couple months. And he goes, what? I thought you were like 64 or 65.
Right.
So that made my day. And,
right. Yeah.
You had mentioned, go ahead.
No, go.
All right. So you had mentioned Power Slim with the Lazarus, and that was the other one we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Now, Power Slim is loaded with appetite suppressants. So this is for people who want to lose weight, because when you drink this in the morning, you will definitely not feel like eating a lunch, and you might not even feel like eating a dinner. This stuff really trims you as far as your appetite goes, but it energizes you like you wouldn't believe. So
yeah. My routine is in the morning, I'll get an 8-ounce glass of water because I'm a masochist, and I will put one of the that used to be true. Greens used to taste terrible. Now they taste a lot better because you continually improve the formula, and I love what you've done with the taste to Power Slim and to Lazarus. But I'll put a scoop or 2 into the water, stir it, and what I love, because I used to use really bad powders, is it just stirs so easy. I don't know how else to say it. It just most of the time you gotta shake it or put it in a blender or whatever. You just put it in, get the spoon, stir it a little bit, and pretty much all of it is now in the water. And
the secret sauce is sufficient particle size reduction and reducing the surface tension, engineering trickery.
Yeah.
Unlike the Costco chocolate flavored pea protein bag that's going to give you gas like you won't believe.
So let's talk a little bit about this particle size, right? Because you've often said that it's like when we eat, we half chew it, and it's like swallowing rocks. Whereas we only can get the nutrients on the outside of the rock. So we really want to have sand going into our stomach, not rocks going into our stomach, to use that analogy.
Yeah, this is important because the body's extracting nutrients only from the surface layer. Whatever's inside is not touched. It leaves your body undigested. So you need to particle size reduce it to the smallest so that all of its surface is exposed to the digestive system.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you do with all of the Excella brand products.
Yeah. We make them super fine. And we do that carefully under temperature control so we don't destroy the enzymes. So
that was going to be my next softball.
Yeah, the softball is that you need to protect the enzymes, because if you just throw it into a grinder, you end up with fine powder, but it's going to be finely dead powder.
Right. So the last part that we want to talk about today is peptides. And
you just give me 2 minutes to talk about peptides.
Well, we're going to have a whole show on peptides, but we want to talk about them in terms of, losing weight, keeping your muscles strong, growing old gracefully and not having to worry about falling down and breaking your hip.
Yeah, okay. Well, the GLP-1 that has taken the world by storm has has a good number of side effects. There's another one called GLP-3 that's the technical name is retatrutide, and that thing is going to cut your appetite fiercely, but at the same time support you in other ways. So it's getting skinny while maintaining energy. So that thing is going to completely revolutionize the whole thing. It's currently available for research only because it's banned for the mainstream. You can buy it off the websites, including, I can point you at them. But you cannot get it prescribed by a doctor because they're not allowed. You cannot get it from a pharmacy because they're not allowed to do it. The FDA has regulated the heck out of it. But it's available for research only. And people are researching it heavily.
So what is a peptide?
Peptide is a string of amino acids longer than, say, 3 aminos, but shorter than 50. If you go past that, you end up in a protein territory. Proteins are usually 100 or more.
Okay.
So it's like the most famous peptide is insulin.
Oh, okay. So would you call it a hormone?
No, it's a regulator. It's a peptide.
Okay, it's a regulator.
Well, I suppose peptides and hormones,
they're close.
I don't know how it would go. Not all peptides are hormones, but some hormones are peptides.
Okay. I'm just trying to get everybody clear on like kind of what this is. So this is a substance that our body will make normally?
Yes. Yeah, it's a signaling. There are regulators and there are signaling ones that are like action takers.
So if we want to signal the right signal, we can get the right peptide that does that, and then all of a sudden we're Well, I mean, when you have nothing in your stomach and you have that gurgling sensation, and then you have this thing that says all of a sudden I'm hungry, that would be a signaling from a peptide, I'm assuming.
Well, that's a hormone called ghrelin. I don't know. It hits the brain. I don't know if it's a peptide. It probably is.
Yeah. So if we
for example, there's a famous peptide called BPC 157. That's body protection compound, and that thing is made in your stomach, and it's the thing that keeps you from having your stomach eat you alive.
Oh, yeah, because it destroys everything, doesn't it?
Right. Well, it's a highly acidic environment that digests stuff you put in it, and if you don't protect it, it would be like sort of like the snake eating itself kind of thing.
Right. So you're saying if you took that liquid out of your stomach and you put it on your shoulder would be gone.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Okay. IGF, that's insulin glucagon factor something. IGF-1, yeah, that's one of the results that you want for growth. I was going to mention somatotropin, which is known as the growth hormone, which is the stuff that you can inject or stimulate and give yourself this youthful effect, right?
Okay.
So this BPC 157 I started talking about, we have that available, and it's a repair signal. So you can put it anywhere. I mean, if it's injectable, you can just pop it right into your shoulder muscle. It'll start repairing it. Oh. The way we have it is in a liposomal format. So you squirt it in your mouth, and it just activates repairs in the body, especially in the digestive system. So leaky gut gets undone or repaired, which is a wonderful thing because you start losing your autoimmune illnesses.
Well, it sounds like we're entering a very exciting age of health.
Scott, I think as these peptides get going and people start understanding it and start using it, there will be a total revolution, because the pharmaceuticals can't do too well with it because it's a natural compound.
Which means they're not going to mark it up 1,000%.
Especially if there's competition. As long as the FDA doesn't ban the competition somehow, it's going to revolutionize how we do health. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that sounds like a really good place to end our show. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate having you here. Martin, thank you for sharing your immense knowledge. I know you have busy days, and all your days are busy helping our customers and clients. So if you go on the site, by the way, you can set up a 15-minute free appointment with Martin, talk about your issues, and take advantage of the wealth of information and wisdom that he has. So with that, thank you, Martin. Thank you, everybody. This has been the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. See you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river to the dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must. Restoring vitality